Hi, this is Mary for Mary's Stamping Happenings, and today is There's a Card Thursday. And we're going to be making this great card, and we're going to be doing some watercoloring. I showed you how to do the masking and the watercoloring in the last couple of tips and techniques Tuesday, so we'll be doing that. And then we're just going to be putting this card together. So what do we need? In the way of stamp sets, we're going to be using the stamp set Remarkable You and Happy Happenings. For ink, we're going to be using Stays On, Mint Macaron, Calypso Coral, and Old Olive, okay? Then we're also going to be needing some cardstock. We're going to use an 8.5 by 5.5 Mint Macaron, along with a piece of large scrap so you can do a scallop punch out of that. What else we're going to be needing is we're going to be needing a piece of watercolor paper, and this is 3 inches by 4 1/4. And we're going to need a piece of Very Vanilla, so you can get a 1 3/4 inch circle or 1 3/8 inch circle out of that. What else we're going to be needing is we're going to be needing a piece of designer series paper called Pretty Petals, and that's 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to need some glue dots, some Stampin Dimensionals. We're going to need a 1 3/8 inch circle punch and the scallop circle punch. And we're going to need our aqua painters, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is I taught you how to mask, and I'll just in tips and techniques, I'll just go over this really quickly. You're going to use Stays On because we're going to watercolor, and we're going to use the watercolor paper. And you're going to ink up the Stays On the flower, because this is the one that you want to stand out. It's in the front, so you're always going to do this one first. And we just stamp that. And then what we're going to do is I've already cut this out of some copy paper, and I put a little bit of our glue, or two-way glue pen on that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put that, you mask that over that and let it sit on top of the flower. And I'm going to just stamp the leaves right over that. Just like that. You can take that off, and you can semi-see where the leaves and everything go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my aqua painter, and I'm going to take my Calypso Coral and Old Olive, and I'm going to paint that, watercolor that, and that's what it's going to look like, okay? So I've got that done. I'm set it aside to dry, and now I'm going to take my card base, just like this, and I am going to take my designer series paper and my glue dots, and I'm going to glue the designer series paper. I love this paper, the Pretty Petals. I'm going to glue that down. Okay, then I'm going to take my Happy Happenings and my Mint Macaron and my Very Vanilla, and I'm going to stamp the saying. And today is the day. Today's the day, the saying is. And I'm just going to stamp it right towards the middle and towards the side. Then I'm going to take my 1 3/8 inch punch, and I'm going to line that up, and I'm just going to punch that out. Take my large piece of my scrap of this, punch out the scallop. Okay, And then I'm just going to attach these two together with a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my watercolor and I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm just going to, now I like this because the Happy Happenings has a bunch of sayings you could use, so you don't have to use the birthday saying or whatever. They've got the bonjour, beautiful, thank you, and so happy that you happened to get together, things like that. So I'm just going to attach that, and then with a couple more Stampin' Dimensionals. And I call this card Remarkable You and Happy Happenings. And I'm just going to there. For There's a Card Thursday, thanks for visiting and happy stamping.